What's going on, my people? You're listening to The Score, an urban music education podcast hosted by Eric and Justin, where we discuss tips and strategies on how to become a more effective, compassionate, and culturally responsive music educator. What's going on, my people? This is Eric.
And this is Justin.
And we're your hosts for
The Score.
Welcome to episode 105, Seize Your Opportunity, with our special guest, Ricardo Brown. What's going on, Rick? How are you doing, bro?
Let's go.
What's going on, fellas? How are you, man? Look, I'm excited, man. I'm really excited. Like, this is my first time on the show. All these years, y'all been doing this show, man. So I'm excited, bro.
We excited, man. We are uber excited just to not only pick your brain, but to also just kind of be in the presence of somebody that we both saw in our minds of what we were trying to do at the high school level in our own communities and teaching public education. So, man, appreciate the inspiration from afar.
Definitely. That's real. Because I have to agree with Justin. That's something that I know we're going to get into the episode, but you have been someone that we could look up to, someone that we could, I remember meeting you for the first time and you telling me that you were the guy on the Cadets with the shirt off on the YouTube video, and I was like, that's you, bro. I show you to my kiddos. But no, man, since then we've been brothers, we've been friends, and our relationship has only strengthened, man. But Rick, if you wouldn't mind, would you let our listeners know a little bit about yourself, about your background, your upbringing, especially your musical upbringing and what you're doing now?
Awesome, man. Yeah. Well, first of all, fellas, thank you again for the opportunity to be on the show. Thank you for such kind words here in the introduction, man. Like, it really means a lot, especially from you two, man, because, I really respect what y'all are doing, both on the music education side, man, but just in general, just being great men, great fathers, all that, man. So, just beautiful people, man. So
appreciate that.
I really appreciate y'all for that, man. About myself. So my government is Ricardo Brown Jr. I'm actually a junior. And it's funny, everybody's like, are you Hispanic? I was like, no, man. My dad told me my mom like I Love Lucy. So, so he got it first, and I guess I got it honest, man. But Ricardo Brown, born and raised in Portsmouth, Virginia. And that in itself, man, like tells a whole story, right? Like, I come from very, very humble beginnings, y'all. Portsmouth constantly ranks as amongst the most dangerous cities in the state of Virginia. It's been that way for a very long time. And so there's definitely a lack of opportunity for a lot of people in our city, man. But I was one of the lucky ones. I come from a household, man. My mom and dad, they were just relentless when it came to like us being better and us doing what they were not able to do. So I can remember like sitting in, like, my dad would call family meetings and all of us would sit in the living room, and he would always make this statement, and it still sticks with me to this day. He used to always say, I don't care what I have to do. I don't care how many jobs I have to work. My kids are either going to college or you're going to join the military. You're going to do something with your life.
Wow.
And fellas, it meant so much, man, because neither one of my parents went to college. My mom went to a little community college later in life, but neither one of my parents have a college education. My dad, he's one of the hardest working people I know, and so for me, it really rubbed off on us, like there was maybe 5 or 6 people from our community that went to college, and 3 of them came out of my house. You know what I'm saying? Like, period, man. Yeah.
Wow.
And all of us have master's degrees, and, I'm very, very close. I'll be finishing my doctorate in May. So, my mom and dad set a standard for us without even knowing what that standard looked like. And I think that shows you how great of people they are. So, born and raised in Portsmouth, Virginia, 1993. So I got to tell this story, fellas, because this is a really interesting story, man. So, and it starts out a little morbid, but my aunt and I were very, very close growing up, man. My aunt, my mom's sister, my Aunt Deborah, she was just like the person I would call when I was down, like those type of things. And my aunt passed away in 1992. And fellas, I swear I'm not lying to you. The night that my aunt died, I knew it before they told me because I was asleep, and it's so vivid to me. I was asleep, and I remember this like it was yesterday. I was standing in a living room that was my other aunt, my Aunt Pearl, my mom's oldest sister. I was standing in her living room in this dream, and for some reason, y'all, it was me holding a trumpet, playing a trumpet. And I am like, what the heck? This is like so random, y'all. Like, so I'm standing in the living room playing a trumpet, and then my aunt joins me in the living room, and she was like, Rick, you're gonna make something of yourself one day. You're gonna do this family proud. And I'm like, why is Aunt Deborah in my dream telling me this? And my mom knocked on the door, y'all, and was like, yep, Rick, Aunt Deborah passed.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there like, if there ain't a God, I don't know. I don't know what that is. You know what I'm saying? So for me, man, it was like this success, man, was predestined by the fact that I come from strong people. I come from a family with high expectations, but also it's ordained, man. Like I'm a true believer that God puts us in the place we supposed to be, man. Yeah. You know, whether that's friendships, whether that's whatever. So in 1993, right after that school year, 92, 93, I started playing trumpet.
Wow.
And music changed my life, y'all. It really did. Because before that, I was not a great student. If my dad and mom were on here, they'd probably be laughing if they told you the story of like what it was like for me growing up, bro. I was a horrible student all the way through high school. Like, I'm not even lying to you, man. I got 1 A or 2 A's from elementary school to 9th grade. I got 3 A's, and that was 6th, 7th, and 8th grade band. That was it, bro.
True to form.
6th, 7th, and 8th grade band. That was it. And I'm sitting there like, hey, man, I'm starting to get good at this, man. Like I would practice relentlessly, man. My mom used to make me put my trumpet up because I would make my lips bleed. I would play so much, man. Like I remember like crying my eyes out in 6th grade because I couldn't get the C sharp, D fingering of the chromatic scale. And I was like practicing nonstop, man, and just crying. She said, put that trumpet up. I'm like, oh, please, I got to get it. And so I stuck with it, man. In 6th, 7th, 8th grade, I fell in love with music. It was part of my life anyway, because both of my parents are, really big into music. My mom was in a singing group with her sisters and family called Family of Love. It was a gospel group. And even still, my dad gave me the first music education I ever got. So I got it honest, man. And I got in high school and I really started taking it serious, fellas. And I made all district band my last 3 years in high school. My senior year, I made Virginia All-State Band, and I also made Virginia Honor Band with the Army band in Norfolk. So I did that, and I came to a crossroads, fellas, because like I told you, I wasn't the world's best student, so I ain't have many options. So it was like I wrestled in high school, and I was a trumpet player. So it was either I was going to be the next Mark Henry in the WWE, Sexual Chocolate Jr., or I was going to be a musician, bro. So I chose trumpet, and now I'm here talking with y'all, man. So
wow.
Music was the thing that really gave me the life that I have, bro.
Wow. That's an amazing story, because I know for me, hearing about you and then talking with Eric during the time that y'all were able to kind of work in close proximity, I was thinking like, man, he must have just been killing and doing all of the things. But to hear you say, man, it was something that found me and I worked myself through it. I think that's a testament to just what can happen when you apply yourself and you just lock in. You know what I'm saying?
But the biggest part of it, though, just to be honest with you, bro, the biggest part of it is the need or the drive to want to be better than.
That's good.
Bro, I don't think you understand, bro. Like when I tell you I had my 5th grade teacher. I'm going to just share it, man. My 5th grade teacher, her name was Miss Pittman. I don't know if this lady's still alive or not. God rest her soul if she is. And this, talk about growth and being humble, right? This lady was the most racist person I've ever met in my life. period. She would call my house every single day because she knew I would get a beating. She knew it. She
Just
knew
because.
I would get in trouble. Just because, bro.
Yeah.
So she would call my mom and fabricate all these lies about me. And it got to a point where my mom was like, you know what? My son ain't like this. Let me see what's going on. So my mom went up to the school and saw it for herself. And from that moment, it was like, it's like something clicked with my parents. Like, okay, we gotta listen to him. He ain't lying here.
Right.
And from that point, bro, I had this mentality like, I have to be better than what these people say I am. You know, teachers, man, I've had at least 2 to 3 teachers tell me I would be dead before I was 21. Look a teenager in the face and tell them he was going to be dead before he was 21. Like, you know, I try not to be that to the students that I have, bro. You know, they say education is not just learning, it's learning what not to do as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, bro, it was just an uncompromising need to be better than. Never let somebody be better than you. Never let somebody tell you you don't have self-worth. And that's where it came from, bro. That's where the drive came from. Like, for real.
We heavy. We already heavy in, and we just started here. We should have. God, dog. Here, what are we doing?
The show is
over. Like 15 minutes in. Yeah. Like, man, but like I picked up a few things there. I share that sentiment, and I share that resilience and that strength that you found in your immediate family. Yeah. That I hear no excuses were made.
Yeah.
It was, you acknowledged what might be roadblocks or hindrance in the life journey, and you said, okay, it's there. How do we go around it? How do we fix it? How do we create a solution? And I had a very similar experience with my father, but I had the opposite with my mother. My mother had we don't have enough money. You know, we're broke, we're poor. And we had this consistent kind of conversation. And my father would always redirect me. And so I had this polarized kind of upbringing, but I navigated towards, and I assimilated a little bit more to my father's thought process. And it goes into what into your title of this episode about seizing your opportunity, that you have kind of broken barriers in the aspect of living in the HBCU space, and a proud alum, former faculty member, to going and working with some of the top 10 groups, top 5 groups, top 3 groups in Drum Corp, march with them, serve with them, and now as a Co-Caption Head for another top Drum Corp group. And I want you to talk about, in every one of those situations, could you kind of outline what this title means to you? What was a situation in undergrad or in grad school that led you to some of these opportunities that, you know, at times we assume people like me can't be in those spaces. People like me that come from an HBCU will never be a brass caption head. All these narratives that sometimes we drive ourselves out from those opportunities. So can you outline why you chose the title, Seize Your Opportunity, and how does that fit in your life and your story?
Exactly what you were saying right now, bro. I want to start from the end, right? Nice. It's funny how now in DCI, there's this huge push to get HBCU students.
Yep.
Man.
Bro, it's insane. I had a caption head of another drum corps come up to me and go, man, you know, I really want to get some of those kids in my drum corps, man, but they won't even let me, you know, every year I go talk and they won't let me in the door. And I was like, because you're not one of us.
Duh.
I mean, it's real simple, right, y'all?
Right.
Like, the thing that people don't realize about the HBCU space is not only it's extremely exclusive, man. Mm-hmm. You have to gain membership to that club.
It's a fraternity.
Right, exactly. Yeah. It is, man. It's a small group of folks, a distinguished group of people. I don't know. I mean, obviously, there's some sorry people that graduated from HBCUs, right? We all know that, right?
But the strays. It's the strays that's coming out in this interview.
Hey, bro. We gonna keep it real today.
No. You 100% correct, bro.
But we all had those people around us, and Eric and I have had this conversation a million times about perception of HBCUs. Mm-hmm. So that's the first part, right? But the second part of it is we have been taken advantage of so many times as HBCUs graduates and as the, you know, the schools themselves, that exclusivity has now become so guarded by not only alumni but current members that we're not going to let anybody in the fraternity that or in the house that wasn't a part of the fraternity before they got there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Good.
So
yep.
That was part of the strategy that we had in 2014 when I was with the Blue Coats. I'm gonna start going back now. So let's go back to the beginning first, and then we'll get to the Blue Coats thing. So Eric, you asked about like what were the things that led to that? Going back to my dad, I asked my dad one day, y'all. I was like, Dad, man, what you did for us can't be put into words, can't be financially. Like, there's nothing I can do to repay you and Mom for what y'all did for us. What put that in your head? Like, you never went to college. You never did these things, but yet you had a clear vision for your family. What put that in your head? I asked him this outright, y'all, and he went like this. He put his hand on his chin and he thought about it, and he was like, Rick, I used to be a janitor at the hospital. And then he became a janitor at the shipyard. And he said, one day I saw a Black officer. First time he had seen a high-ranking Black member of the military. So he was like, I'm going to talk to that brother. Because he was like, the dude pulled up in a Mercedes-Benz. Like, I'm talking about like this brother was getting it, right? So he went up to him and he was like, bro, what how'd you get there? You know, what'd you do to get where you are? And the dude told me, I went to college. I made something of myself, man. I focused and I did that. And from that moment, my dad was like, that was the goal that he had for his kids. My dad worked himself up, y'all, from being a janitor at the hospital and the military and at the naval base, to becoming a supervisor at the Norfolk Naval Shipyard.
Wow.
That's what we saw, bro. That's what we saw. There's no barrier in your way that you can't overcome if you don't focus and put hard work into it. When that opportunity comes, you got to jump at it. You got to put 110% of yourself, not fearing failure. And that's the thing that holds so many of us back, right? I don't know, man. I want to move to North Carolina to take this job that could change my life and could change my family's trajectory. But I'm from Houston, man, and H-time, and all that, man. Like, that's cool, right? But that job in North Carolina could change your grandkids' situation. I don't think about me, y'all. I want to be the best version of me. I'm thinking about these kids that God is going to bless me with soon. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking about what my mom and dad had to deal with and how they got from where they were to where they are now. Both of my parents are supervisors in their job. My dad just retired a year and a half ago.
Wow. Living
the good life. My parents drive a better car than I do. And I work every day. I work every day, y'all. Like, my mom and dad pull up in the 2022 Acura truck. I'm like, something big time. But that's where it came from, y'all. So then, Eric, you asked, how did those opportunities happen, right? In 1997, my high school band director took us to a drum corps show over in Hampton. And y'all, it was the most life-changing thing I have ever seen. The Blue Devils were there that year. And the Cadets were there. Two of the best drum corps in the world at this show. But the first drum corps that went on was a group called Pioneer. They don't exist anymore. And y'all, when Pioneer went on, I thought it was the best thing I had ever seen in my life. I was like, this is the best marching band. I didn't even say drum corps.
Everybody was looking at him like, whose man is this?
Like that. Wait for like 2 hours. So, bro, every group is getting better. The Colts came on next, and then who else was there? It was like a bunch of different. Tar Heel Sun was a group that some of my friends from high school were in. They were there. So, bro, every group is getting better, and then the Cadets and Blue Devils went on. Bro, the Blue Devils, y'all got to go watch this, bro. 1997 Blue Devils. They start in this diamond. and this diamond travels all over the field. And it was so clean, y'all. You could see the shadows on the line were actually clean, on the field were clean. And it looked like the field was moving underneath the diamond, not the diamond moving across. It was insane. And I'm sitting there like, bro, that's the next level. So I went home and I talked to my parents. I was like, yo, I saw the best thing I've ever seen. And 98, man, we went back. And this is when I knew it was the activity for me, man. It was the first time I had seen the Blue Coats. And look, I told him this story, but they had two soloists on the field that year. And one of them is a good friend of mine. His name is Kenny Ragland. Kenny Ragland changed my life, y'all. And I told him I was able to find him about 2 years ago and tell that brother this directly. Like, I cried, man, because I was like, bro, you are the reason that I have the life that I have. That brother, Kenny Ragland, y'all, look him up. He's a jazz musician now. Y'all can go find him. Kenny Ragland was one of the soloists of the Blue Coats there in 1998. He was playing all these high notes, man. I was like, I'm going to do that, bro. That's going to be me. So me and my best friend, Calvin, we had our mouthpieces with us because we used to carry them. We were addicted to trumpet, y'all. We had our mouthpieces with us. So we were like, bro, we going over to the Blue Coats truck. And so we went over to the Blue Coats truck, and Kenny Ragland was putting his horn in his uniform up, y'all. Had no reason to say anything to us or even talk to us. We went up to him and we were like, bro, you are the man. We want to be you, bro. This dude took his soprano out the case and gave me and my best friend Calvin a lesson right there, bro. Wow. He just stopped what he was doing, gave us his soprano, and gave us a lesson right there. And I'm getting emotional now, bro. When you talk about reaching back and helping a brother, that's what that is, man. It's not money. It's not always financial, bro. It's time sometimes. The smallest thing can change a kid's life, man. The smallest thing. Yeah. Mr. Jimenez gave me $2 out of his pocket when I was on my last, I hadn't eaten in 3 days. And that $2 let me go to 7-Eleven, get me a big bite, and probably save my life. That's that one thing, y'all, that one opportunity that can change somebody's life. Kenny Ragland gave me this vision of what my life could be through drum corps. And from that moment on, y'all, the cadets were like the closest corps that was great. So I wanted to be a cadet, man. I was like, that's where I'm going. So in 99, I went to cadets. They used to do this big audition called the International Audition. You could audition for like 4 different drum corps at the same time. So I auditioned for the cadets, and I actually made it, y'all. But my boy Aaron, he was my transportation back and forth to camp. So I had to take advantage of that resource. I ain't had no money. I'm from Portsmouth. So my boy was like, man, you ride with me. So we went. I made cadets, but he didn't. He ended up making the Crossman. So I also made the Crossman. So I was like, you know what? So I just needed the experience. So I ended up marching Crossman in 1999. And it started me off on this drum corps journey, bro. So a lot of people know me from the cadets. My first drum corps experience was with the Crossman.
See, I didn't even know that.
But I think even in that, what you just said, like how many people would have had what you just had and tried to take the latter just because, well, that's greater and I need that. In your mind, you said, man, it is what it is. Let me just get in a room. And I think seizing the opportunity is understanding rooms build you for bigger rooms. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, like even when I think about DCI, because a lot of kids, when I would teach and they were like, man, did you ever do? I was like, man, it just wasn't, we in Texas at that time. It was crazy back in the 2000s. Right. But had the opportunity of come, I'm of the same mindset. Like, I'm going to just go in this smaller room, learn what I can, and then that'll help me get the next room. And I think that's amazing to know that you was with Crossman, and then that just propelled you up.
And I was 16, bro. Wow. I was a 16-year-old kid, man, my first year drum corps. I'm from Portsmouth. Bro, it was so bad. Like, check this out, man. Like, our high school, so I lived in a community in Portsmouth called Mount Herman, 100% Black. No other races in this community, right?
Yeah.
That's what I knew. And then my freshman year, they bus us to the busing. It's still, I don't know if it's still a thing in Portsmouth, but it was still a thing when I was in school, like civil rights era busing. And if y'all
in the 90s,
in the 90s,
that's crazy.
So for those of you that don't know what busing is after the civil rights movement, in an effort to get Black folks into more what they call better situations as far as school, they would bus Black folks to white neighborhoods to go to their high school. They were still doing this, bro, in 1996-7 when I was a freshman in high school.
That's crazy.
They did that all the way through school, and they were doing it for years afterwards into the 2000s. So I went from that situation to the predominantly white high school. So for me, all this stuff was brand new, bro. And so I'm sitting there like, I've never done this core thing before. I don't know what I'm doing. And even that was a challenge. Like my first year of Crossman, bro, was awful. I was a 16-year-old lazy kid from Virginia, right? And I'm getting into the most strenuous marching activity that you can be involved in. I was not ready for it. But the other part of it, bro, there weren't many people that looked like us on this phone call. There weren't many Hispanic people. There weren't many Black people, So it was a very undiverse group. There was racism involved there. We can talk about it if you want. I've called the N-word at least 3 times on tour. My seat partner used to wear a Confederate flag buckle, talking about his heritage, not hate. I'm like, man, whatever. My seat partner, y'all, the person I had to sit beside, he was
every week. Yeah.
Wow. We on the bus, it's 100 degrees. What you got a belt buckle on? Like, come on, bro. So he would wear his Confederate belt buckle just because he knew it got to me.
Yeah.
And I still was like, man, I'm not gonna let these people hold me back. I was man, and I was like, bro, I'm gonna be there next year. I used to go over to their warm-ups. So 01, I was like, I don't care what 2000. I don't care what I have to do. I'm marching cadets 2000. My mom was like, no, you ain't. You carrying your ass to college. Oh, sorry. I don't know if we can cut. You carrying your butt to college. That's what you doing. I had to say what my mom said. But the A word, but you carrying your butt to college and you going to focus. You done got into Norfolk State. That's where you going. So Dr. Sanford gave me, $500 scholarship. That's all he gave me, y'all. $500. And I went to Norfolk State. But I still was marching drum corps at the same time.
Yeah.
So 2000 was just the Legion. I just marched Norfolk State. So all my corps style experience was like gone other than my experience at Crossman in 99. So in 01, I went back to cadets. I was like, y'all, my mom said I can march this year. I'm going. And it's funny because 2000, I got a call from the Cavaliers, y'all, in mid-summer asking me to fill a hole.
Oh, wow.
And if I would have filled that hole, we probably wouldn't even be talking. Because I would have never left Cavaliers because Cavaliers won all those years.
Yeah.
Won. I would have had, bro, if I would have went, I would have had 4 championships out of the 5 years I would have been at Cavaliers. I would have never went to cadets. I would have stayed my butt right there.
Yeah.
So God, moving again, bro, put me in a position where the cadets was the drum corps for me. And I spent 4 years there, y'all. I marched the cadets for 4 years, and I was a trumpet soloist every year I was there.
Wow.
And another man that changed my life, Mark Sylvester. Mark Sylvester is one of the craziest people you'll ever meet in your life, but he's also a genius. Most geniuses are crazy. Right after I aged out, y'all, this is really, you asked me how I got into it. This is how this went down. I went to Banquet. My age out after I aged out. So Banquet is usually in November after you age out. Now everybody does it like the day after tour, but back then it was like months later. So I went to Banquet and I won Cadet of the Year my age out year. I won the top cadet for the horn line that year. And right when I walked off the stage, Mark Sylvester pulled me in the hallway, y'all, and the visual staff was standing outside. And he was like, Rick, you are the best big guy marcher I've ever taught. He looked me in my eyes and said that, y'all, you want to teach the cadets? And they all looking at me smiling. My first job in DCI, y'all, was teaching visual. for the cadets in
Bro, you got to get out of here, man. This is like VH1. Like, what are we doing?
Not music, bro.
What?
My first job in DC, I was teaching visual, y'all. I taught the trumpets visual in 2005 cadets.
That's so mind-blowing because I think about the stories from what Eric told me about, you know, how y'all approach things and, you know, and I'm like, I would think as a person who grew up marching corps, watching DC, I'm like, man, that sounds like a lot of like similar stuff that I heard growing up. And it's just like the fact that you left the, you know, age out and they were like, hey, teach visuals.
Yeah.
That information is going into your brain. That's a clip that you could take into any job in any place. That's wild.
So think about it from that standpoint. I want to stay right where you are, right?
Yeah.
Now, I'm already a music major in college. So I'm getting that music training from HBCU.
Yeah.
I'm getting the music training from the DCI side as well. So I'm getting core style and HBCU style. I march at an HBCU, so now I know the HBCU style of marching.
Yeah.
But now I'm a visual tech at an 8-time world champion. And that summer, y'all, my year teaching visual, the 2 years I was with the cadets, that first year, we won the championship that year with the highest. Matter of fact, let me grab some real quick. I'll be like,
Hey, low key though, his background is off the chain, like
for sure,
and it's not virtual. So.
right.
I like what you're doing with the place.
So my first year, man, teaching drum corps, we won with the highest score ever. We tied the Cavaliers with the highest score ever, but we're the only drum corps that won every single caption and every single sub caption. Across the sheet, it was nothing but ones. And that's my first year teaching drum corps, and I got this. That's my first ETI World Championship ring right there, y'all.
Wow.
And you're going to see it. This shows you how it's going to show you how old this is. This is my first one. 2005 cadets, visual staff. And from there, bro, it took off.
Man.
It took off. First one.
As we take a break from our discussion, we're jumping into the segment called In Rotation. During this time, each of us will get an opportunity to share what we're currently listening to, favorite artists, genre, album, playlists. If you have any recommendations, drop us a line on our social media platforms at PodTheScore or send us an email, podthescore@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
In rotation, folks. All right, a couple episodes, I let the listeners know about this artist, a regional Mexican artist called Carin Leon. And even a couple months ago, I was already kind of thinking he should be collabing with some country artists. To my surprise, he is. And he just dropped a single called The One with Kane Brown, which is actually a black dude that's in country music as well. And then he just dropped another one called Ron con Coca. So rum with Coke in Spanish. Check those two out because his voice is so versatile that he's just on social media. He dropped a flamenco song as well. And the timbre of his voice even fits within that genre. And one thing that I'm really loving that's happening within the regional Mexican space is kind of this permission to modernize folk songs, to modernize traditional genres, whether it be through mariachi or just regional Mexican instruments. And even though some purists, because in any genre, any style of music, you have those purists. Like if you're a straight ahead jazzer, no, you don't extend those chords. Or if you're a mariachi traditionalist, it's like, no, you don't put a seventh on that major triad. And I personally think that new genres, new styles of music comes from discovery, comes from sharing the stage with folks from different cultures, different backgrounds, like salsa, where jazz musicians shared it with Caribbean musicians in New York. And so I highly encourage this discovery of new music and just being allowed to mix lived experiences. So that's a shout out to Carin Leon. Justin, what you got?
All right. So y'all already know I'm a PJ Morton apologist, one of his biggest fans. And so over this like last year, he was over in Africa a lot doing shows and things like that. But he recorded an album over there and he's slowly releasing some of that music. So the single that he has out right now is Please Be Good to Me. It's an amazing single. I'm playing it like 8 times, 10 times in a row with the kids in the car. And my kids already know if it's already a song, like we were riding somewhere yesterday and they were making fun of me like, man, when you really like a song, when you really like a song, like it was like you get all hype in the car and everything. So I've been listening to PJ Morton, Please Be Good to Me, and I'm excited about the album. So yeah,
love it. Ricardo, what you got for us?
All right, man. I got some hits here for y'all, man. So hopefully y'all ready to do some listening, because I'm gonna give you 5 things and I'm gonna do them fast. So I'm really digging this artist. Y'all may know him. His name is Kenyon Dixon.
Oh yeah.
Kenyon Dixon has this new album called the R&B You Love, Soul of the 70s. Go check that album out, bro.
Amazing. Amazing.
It's amazing, bro. Another one, Jacob Collier's new album, Jesse Volume 4. A must listen for all musicians, man. Like, I swear it's an easy listen for you. You'll get through it. And the last song on that album, World Oh World, is so good. I'm actually writing it right now for the Mandarins. We're gonna do it as a ballad, as a chorale.
Come on, bro. You gotta stop, bro.
I'm writing.
You gotta stop, man. This is just hold on. Let me just talk to the listeners real quick. We not having this man on no more. We asked this man, what is he listening to? And he already dropping top G14 classified information. And we ain't even really got heavy into these. Man.
Hey, bro. Look, this just a fast one. I'm not even going to go into detail. I'm going to give you 3 more. If you like Moonchild, Moonchild, Amber Navarin has a new group. I don't know if y'all heard about this. It's called Cat Pack.
Okay.
Cat Pack. So if you like Moonchild, Cat Pack is super dope. I'm gonna go with my boy Terrace Martin and one of my favorite musicians right now, Alex Isley.
Oh man, that's my favorite.
They have an album together.
I know. They can do no wrong. She can do no wrong.
Yeah. Go check it out, y'all. Trust me. Yeah. And then the last one, this is one I'm sure a lot of people have never heard of. It's a young guy from Berkeley. His name is Cisco Swank. Cisco Swank. If you've never heard of Cisco Swank, he has an album called More Better. Go check that album out, man. My favorite song on there is a song called Home. But go check it out, man. It's a good vibe, and it's just soul music at its best. So
nice.
How about?
All right, we're back. So in true form of the podcast, man, I want to be able to give our teachers some skills, some strategies, and some tips in their classrooms for that kid that might not be as driven as you, that might not be as driven. Some of the students that we've been able to teach in our career, like one that comes to mind is Chuy Martinez, that March Cadets, and just being able to go out there. Another one is obviously our guy Travis is out there representing with you as well. And then so many other folks, even within the HBCU space, that have gotten these opportunities that I think about. And I was like, even if I didn't present them that opportunity, they would have found out about it anyway. Right. But then the overwhelming majority of our programs are not kids like that, are the ones that we have to go and pull the coattail. We have to schedule meetings. We have to sit them down in our office and say, you're applying to this. So I'm curious to know what strategies you've taken throughout your career and even now to help some of those introverted students and even some of those students that you know have those skills that they haven't even seen within themselves.
I think for me, man, it's just trying to find that student that was me. Like, bro, 9th grade year, I had a math teacher. Her name was Iva Faust. Miss Faust is one of those teachers, y'all, that just saving lives left and right. She's one of those teachers. She's that one. But Miss Faust was mean, y'all. Miss Faust did not play. But Miss Faust cared. Miss Faust cared so much that she was willing to do whatever it took. And so I would show up in the class because every teacher told me I was worthless and all that stuff. So I showed up to Miss Faust's class, y'all, and in my head, and I still do this to this day, y'all, like this is how my brain works. I hear music all day long. So in my head, I'm humming and I'm singing in my head. And I'm like, that's what I do with my arranging now. I just put that stuff down on paper. So I'm in the class, y'all, and I had a pair of drumsticks I used to carry in my bag. And I would pull these drumsticks out and I'd be air drumming, because percussion is my second instrument. I would be air drumming. And Miss Faust was like, that kid, that's the way in right there. So what Miss Faust would do, y'all, dang, well, this lady wrote about me in her book, man. Like, she wrote a book, and I was like one of the basis of her book. Miss Faust would let me she would put on I Believe by I Can Fly by R. Kelly. I know he's canceled now, but back then that song was huge, right?
Right.
And every day, Miss Faust would put that song on, and the deal we had was she would let me drum and make beats for the class for I Believe I Could Fly, and in turn, I had to do my work. So you can make music, and in turn, she every day, y'all, the first 4 minutes of class, Miss Faust would turn on I Believe I Could Fly, and I would have some fat beats for the class. I got people banging on desks. I'm up there drumming and stuff with sticks. And the thing was, if I let you do this, you're going to do your work. You're going to focus and all this. I didn't have a problem focusing. I had a problem with believing that teachers believed in me. So the first part of your question, Eric, is you got to show these kids that you care, man. You can't reach a kid that doesn't think you care about them. First and foremost, personal relationship is important. Ms. Faust called my house very frequently too, but it wasn't to get me in trouble. It was to work with my family to help me be successful.
Wow.
Ms. Faust's class was the first B I got a class I got a B in. First one, y'all. All my school, Miss Faust. Miss Faust changed my life, bro. From that moment on, I was like, I want to go to college, so I got to apply myself. And Miss Faust has taught me how to do that. I saw Miss Faust at a Walgreens when I went to visit my mom one time. And I told Miss Faust, I have a master's degree now. And Miss Faust looked me in my eyes, bro. And I'm talking about bawling, crying in the middle of a Walgreens parking lot. Her daughter, and here's the funny part. All these people that I'm telling you about that were like life changers and stuff like that were even members of Delta Sigma Theta or Omega Psi Phi.
Wow.
Every single one. So I'm sitting there like, I know what I'm doing when I get to college. My cousin Billy was an Omega. He was the one that used to give me trumpet lessons and stuff like that. Miss Faust, the lady that changed my life, she was a member of Delta Sigma Theta. So giving them a vision or aspiration, something they can aspire to. That's the second part. Dang, man, not only is this person a major educator, but they're doing things for their community.
Yeah.
They're doing things to better the lives of other people. It's not just about them. It's about improving the people that are going along this journey with them. That's what you do for your students. You don't just give them a vision of, oh, well, man, you'll be able to make $40,000 one day. No, you'll be able to make a decision that could change the trajectory of your whole family from here on out. Vision, being able to provide a vision, being able to show a student that they can do something that's bigger than themselves. Had a kid, his name was James. He was a snare drummer in my middle school band. I saw James in the hallway one day, y'all. He was, this kid come from a very tough background, man. Like, I don't want to, some listeners from Portsmouth might know this kid. So, from that time period, but a guy named James, he was in the band, snare drummer. And he was out there in them streets, and he around the school showing off all this money and stuff. So I pulled him in. I'm like, bro, I'm from the same neighborhood as you. We don't do no stuff like that. He was like, you know what? You right, Mr. Brown, man. But, we good, man, blah, blah, blah. So I sit and talk. I'm like, James, man, what you going to do, man? How you going to change your family, man? What you going to do? His mom was out in the streets big time. His little brother had just got expelled for fighting too much. What you going to do, bro? You are the head of your household as a 15-year-old kid. That tells you what you need to know, right?
Right.
And he was like, Mr. Brown, man, I hear you, bro. I really do. But it's hard for me to hear what you're saying when I make more money than you do.
Oh.
And that's, bro, it hit different, bro. Like the kids say, it hit different. I'm like, man, I'm trying to teach this kid about Mozart and Beethoven, and he out here hungry, taking care of his family at 15 years old. So the other part is having compassion. Understanding that these kids that you talking about, Eric, they ain't going home to houses with silver spoons in their mouth and plates full of food. They going home in some cases and going to work.
Yep.
To try to keep their little brother and sister in a house.
That's a fact.
Like, bro, education, man, can't just be about, notes on a page, bro. It's got to be about the whole person, right? Those, to me, that's what made you such a good band director. When I first saw you and Jesse working with that band, man, I'm sitting there like, these kids believe in these men. They ain't just in here playing their ass off because they're great musicians. It weren't many great musicians in that room. It was a lot of talented kids that, believed in what the people in front of them were doing, and which in turn made us believe in y'all. That was me and Eric's first musical interaction, was watching him and what he was doing at the high school. So I'm sitting there like, damn, bro, this bro got those kids. They'll jump off a mountain if he said, go do it. And
that's a fact. That's a fact.
Every school he went to, it was the same thing. I remember it's not called TJ no more. I forgot Northside.
Davis. Yeah.
Like, Jeff Davis. Not my fault. I was saying Thomas Jeff. Jeff Davis, right? Like, same thing. You and Tim, head down, getting the grind. So I'm saying, go ahead, bro. Yeah,
man. It's so much. It's so much. I think part of what you're talking about, because as I'm connecting what you talked about earlier from your own Genesis story, is this idea of I'm seizing the opportunity of whatever that opportunity is in front of me.
Exactly.
And when you was in Virginia growing up, it was like, okay, I got this opportunity to play this horn, create music, be in a different environment that changes my future. Then when you started to get into the place of educating, now I have this opportunity of growing and developing people. And I think what you said was, if we only look at this from a music standpoint, and I think that's really what me, Eric, and the rest of our kind of contemporaries that run in our group, could we have been the guys that have the decorated band halls? Yes. Were we able to bring? Yes. Me and Eric, we did some amazing things. But if you ask us about the experience and you talk to us, when I'm talking to other young band directors, or I'm talking to people that's asked me about stuff, I'm like, you got to create systems in your band hall that help kids get better, not just musically, but even outside of what they do in that room. And what I'm hearing what you're saying is, I'm going to seize this opportunity. Miss Faust, she saw an opportunity to say, how can I reach this kid? Not, how can I get Ricardo just to come in here and do what I need him to do? Because that's two different things. I think we have to understand that it can be a both and, but it can't be, how do I just get him to sit down? Maybe it has to start with, what do I need to give to Ricardo that's going to give him a buy-in to believe that what I'm talking about matters? Because James, like, at the end of the day, what mattered to him is that you saw him and said, hey, man, what are you going to do for your future? That's outside of band. That's outside of him being a snare drummer. It's like, it's making him think, like, what is this happening right now?
Yeah.
And I think, I really think, man, like, as far as educators, whether you coming in as a first year, you coming in as an assistant of a historical program or a developing program, as you get in the weeds of the pedagogy, man, you got to look and see what's in front of you.
Yeah.
What's in front of you?
I'm hearing everyone that was in your life that made an impact with you.
Yeah.
Becoming you.
Yep.
That's what I'm hearing now. It's kind of like I'm reflecting on why did Eric take out his staff to eat so much?
Yeah.
Like I remember I just always wanted to break bread with my people.
Yep.
And then I'm going back and look back and I was like, my mom does that still to this day. Like, it's still a household full of people. If it's a Sunday we're going over, there's more food than we need on that moment. And we are taking home to-go plates, because she shows love through food. And arguably I did that indirectly too. It was kind of one of those, like, I celebrate my people by, hey, I'm covering the crawfish today, let's just go break bread. And I start reflecting on those moments of those tough conversations of, hey, Mr. Jimenez, I don't have money to pay for the band fees, or I can't pay for the band trip. And I think about what you've done recently in the past 2 years, I think, is that you've had students come up and march for you that still don't have the resources to buy the appropriate tennis shoes, the appropriate athletic shoe, the appropriate athletic wear, etc. And then you put it on social media, crowdsourcing and saying, help me help this kid. Because I know you're remembering thinking, I remember not having enough money to travel to said camp because I had to pivot my plans and do this because that's what fit in my season of life at the time. And man, I'm because I want more folks to do this, and it's still, I guess you could say, it's still a bit frustrating to see that when we went back to quote unquote back to normal post COVID, that
went back to the normal.
Yeah, there was a couple things that we should have kept. that I think you are still doing those things. Like that trombone solo feature that you did last year with the Mandarins, that's, you're conducting on that alone brings out what you wanted to interpret on that piece. So if you haven't checked that out, go ahead and check it out because it's out there.
Shameless plug.
Because because I know you and I know your interest in music and the hip hop interest and the Jacob Collier interest and the Snarky Puppy and the jazz and the HBCU, like literally all of that is a culmination of what you're saying. I'm not gonna hide who I am. Nope, I'm gonna bring that music, that sound, that oomph that I know I want from my ensemble. That I'm not going to play it safe. I'm not going to do X, Y, and Z. But one would say like, oh, it's too edgy. And it's like, well, pull out your tuners and tune. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and so I love all of it is what I'm trying to say. Because I want teachers to say what you're doing. It's like, okay, I don't know where to start. But and Justin said this in a couple episodes, we are pouring into our kids with the expectation that they're going to do, not for us, but hopefully in the future.
Yeah.
But the other part of that is this, though, Eric, and I want you, Justin, you can disagree with me if you want. Sometimes you got to kick the damn doors down.
Oh, you know.
Oh, that's a fact.
I think this podcast was a
man. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Bro, like you brought up the drum corps thing, right, with the Mandarin.
Yeah.
Right.
I've been involved with this activity since 1999. I've taught at every single level. I'm a college band director. I've taught middle school and high school.
Yeah.
In 2013, the director of the corps that I marched, they put a picture up on Facebook. And that picture said the best staff in DCI. And I'm looking at this picture and there's not one person of color in the whole picture. And I'm sitting there in my head like, there has never been many people of color in this activity leading at all. They'll use us for every talent that we have. We'll play every high note imaginable, every solo. And then when it's time to elevate somebody to a position of leadership, crickets. All those years I spent in the activity, it took JW giving me an opportunity, y'all. I was assistant caption head somewhere, all these other places. It took JW giving us an opportunity to do what we're doing after all these years. Whereas you got some other folks who get opportunities just like that, just because they get the right person to sign off on their career or other reasons, that we're not going to get into.
Right.
And they can be mediocre as heck, bro.
Yep.
But
they going to get in the room. Get in the room. You
and Eric can stand in front of any drum corps and do what I do. You can, bro. Why? Because good teaching is good teaching, bro.
Yeah.
Like I tell people, my motto has become a concert F is a concert F. I don't care if you in the Sonic Boom of the South. I don't care if you at Pride of Connecticut with me. I don't care if you on the drum corps field. In-tune concert F is the same everywhere else.
But that's not the narrative.
True.
That's not the narrative. The narrative says, where did you go? Who did you study under? Yeah. How many years did you do this? And I think that there's a place for that. But I hope that those that are listening, because I think what me and Eric and people like Balaji and Tim and Chris Mosley, I think what we tried to do and what our goal was to say was, we're kicking the door down, and I'm not going to hide that I enjoyed these years at Prairie View.
Yes.
I'm not going to hide. I'm not going to hide that I learned some band podium pedagogy things while listening to Dr. Taylor while I was in the university chorale. That I learned rehearsal techniques when I had to run the musical with Dr. Selden and Dr. Cornelius and all of those things.
Who are all brilliant people. Brilliant.
I'm going to stand tall on that. And I'm also going to pull from those moments where I'm listening to other men and women in the community of band directing that can give me something that's not from that school. But I'm going to bring my HBCU proud self to the table. And I'm a work hard. My kid's gonna be at Region Band. I'm gonna be at the meetings. I'm gonna orchestrate this, and we gonna run the table. And I think that when you said kick the door down, that's what we did. Like, we had no other choice.
Yeah.
Like, I can't get a job nowhere else because of those things. So I'm gonna plug in here. And then what happens is, man, we would love to have you come to our district. Hey man, what you're doing here? That's literally how I got to, Fort Bend and all of these and opportunities, because they walked in and they said literally what you said. Good teaching is good teaching.
Yep.
Like, this person, he knows how to correct, corral the room. He understands classroom management. He has great information, and kids are showing up and they're doing whatever they're telling them to do.
You know, and it's interesting, man. Can we, if y'all allowed us to go here, right? Like, it's funny how when I was teaching at Prairie View, we would hear these stories about how our students would go out to try to get jobs in the school system and their resumes would get thrown in the trash and not even considered.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there. So this message is to anybody that's not affiliated with an HBCU or actually know what's going down. Do you think we getting taught by people that went to community colleges? You brought up Dr. Selden. Dr. Selden has a doctorate degree from the University of Michigan.
Right.
Cornelius has it from Rice. You know what I'm saying?
One of the premier classical music schools in the world.
For sure.
We're not being taught by clowns, right?
Yep.
But what happens is, y'all, and I don't want, we're going to ruffle some feathers right now.
Ruffle them.
Right. What happens is, as the HBCU world band changes, you get a lot of people that think that the band head style is what band is.
Yeah.
And so you get a bunch of unqualified people trying to teach people how to do what we do. And then that turns into what you're starting to see. Bands that go out here during the summer and just blow their face off with no guidance. It's out of tune. There's no balance and blend. There's no nothing. So then you have this tear in our community. We're fighting with each other. Because you got the group of us that's saying you got to play with good tone quality. You got to play in tune. You got to do these things. And then you got a group saying you got to blow that hoe. And I'm sorry, I'm never going to be in that camp ever.
Me neither. Yeah.
But I'm never going to shy away from the fact that I'm Rick Brown that went to Norfolk State University, got his undergrad and master's from Norfolk State. I didn't go to one of these bigger schools for my master's. I stayed at Norfolk. And I'm going to change DCI the way I want to see it, with a better diversity, better different trains of thought and stuff like that from the inside.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to play Brand New by Mac Ayres. Look, it's so funny, y'all. You got to go look this up, y'all. The first time we played Brand New in public last year was at Family Day for the Mandarins. And if you look at the title of that video, and it's like, people aren't trying to be bad. People aren't trying to be racist, but they don't know what they're talking about. And so that part of them just comes out. The name of the video is Mandarins playing HBCU style music.
Oh my God.
And I'm sitting there like, first of all, I just took a big exhale. I was like, oh my God, these people, man. And then the next thing I said is, y'all do know Mac Ayres is white, right?
And if they knew the catalog of some of the most classic HBCU songs,
right,
they'll be like, wait, this person, welcome to the party.
Yeah. Uninformed, bro. And that's what it is. But that's what it is, right? People making assumptions about what we do based off of ignorance.
Yeah. Right.
They don't know how good of a teacher Kendrick Taylor at Southern is.
Yep.
I don't know the brother personally. And I really hope to meet him one day, because I hear how great of a teacher he is. Like that brother, I heard that brother's sharp.
Yeah.
The person I respect and the band program that's like I'm really paying attention to right now is Jackson State.
Yeah.
What they are doing with that band, man, is incredible.
Let's just be real. The whole music department, because
it's insane.
I'm seeing their ORF trainings, their
elementary music, percussion ensemble. I mean, they are doing it all.
What's his name? Dr. Little.
Yeah.
Bro, they literally have Mississippi Symphony people on faculty.
Yeah.
Like this is
teaching private lessons at the school, teaching lessons at the school. Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, this is the ignorance that keeps people from really growing. HBCU students, I'm coming to get you. I want you in the Mandarins. We're going to teach you how to do what we want you to do. We have a home for you. I understand what the activity did for me, and I want to give that to other people. So all you teachers out there, it's okay to not be comfortable with something, but still be able to give it to your students to give them the opportunity.
Man, that's good.
I got
you don't have to have March Drum Corps to send your kids to drum corps.
That's good,
bro. Right
that's
there.
Me and Eric. That's me and Eric.
Because you already know people ask like, "Hey man, you march drum corps?" No, not at all. I was working at the flea market over the weekend. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I was playing at church.
Bro, you don't have to be black to go to an HBCU.
Talk well, sir.
Bro, like it's so many opportunities that we close our kids off from because we're scared of the unknown. Well, I don't know, man. Like I saw that video of them playing out of tune in 30-degree weather. You take your trumpet outside and play in 30-degree weather and tell me what that's gonna sound like. I literally warmed the band up today, y'all. We had a game today. I warmed the band up in a parking garage and we tuned to the parking garage. And the first thing we did when we went in the arena was tune again. I wasn't playing a note until we tuned again.
Right.
Like we don't give ourselves the opportunity to be uncomfortable, which will lead to being successful. If it doesn't feel good right at the beginning,
you're not doing it.
I can't do it.
Yep.
My goodness. See,
I still practice, bro. My trumpet is right here. I still practice. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to be the best version of me to be able to give that to somebody else. When a kid comes to me and says, Mr. Brown, I have braces, but I still want to march. What tips can you give me? Well, there's mouthpieces now that are made to accommodate students with braces. There's a couple of things you can do with pressure and mouthpiece placement. Like being able to give kids the opportunity to succeed, even when I myself may not have all the answers. So I think that's another big part, y'all.
Man,
can you get out of your own way to give your kids what they need?
Eric has said that on numerous episodes.
Yep.
That kids have walked into our office, walked into his office on all levels, even when he was at the collegiate level, and said, "Hey, Prof, I'm trying to figure out," and the trust and the belief that student has in him when he says, "Hey, I don't have the answer to that. I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna talk to some people, and I'll make sure you get connected, and then follow through." Those students are like, yeah, he's one of the greatest professors I ever had. Not because you have a wealth of knowledge, but that you have a wealth of humility. That's why.
When he got that job, and I hope he don't mind me sharing this, I was like, that's the best hire they could have made.
Man.
I told Eric that too directly because Eric, for those of y'all that don't know, Eric took my job. And I was like, that is the absolute best hire they could have made for that position on so many levels. I mean, I'm going to be selfish here. PV has a large Hispanic population. Who can those kids talk to that can understand what their lived experiences are, not as Hispanic people only, but as Hispanic people who have come from the storm? Eric marched the storm at a time where he was probably one or two.
101.
He was the only one. Right.
101.
Well, me and Tim Rectify, he's half Latino.
So that alone, dang, not only is this brother, have the same lived experiences I have, but he marched in the same band I did.
Yeah.
But the other part of that is this. I mean, I know y'all know, so I'm going to just put it out there. PV has had a tradition, 20, 30 years, probably 40, of being good in spite of.
Yeah.
That school has never supported that band like they should have.
Nah,
I was saying, Eric, because I don't work there no more.
And I don't go there. It's a claim to fame. That's a claim to fame. That people
really
would look and say, how do y'all do what y'all do when every other school, whether that's JSU, Southern, FAM, the school gets behind because they understand, the more that y'all out there, the more, people are pulling up. We just doing stuff on the strength of man, we got to get out here and get it.
Here's the crazy.
And I ain't just talking about when y'all weren't the man. I'm still talking.
I'm talking about, for sure.
I'm
one, thank you, because that does mean a lot. Following in your footsteps was a very, very big task to take on because
you won't follow in my footsteps, bro.
But I appreciate that. But the kids still remembered you. You know what I mean? You still had a very big presence there, and I remember going up there. And I forget what piece I was running. I think it might have been it's one of his Stevie Wonder tunes that he did, like a fanfare at Norfolk, and then even at Minnesota, O'Neill Sanford. It was Alfie. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So so Dr. Zach had asked me, hey man, go ahead and clean this up. And so I went in there, of course, like day one. I'm like, nope, I want to hear just the low brass. You're gonna lead the crescendo, and I was doing all the just nuanced things. And 2 old heads came over and said, "Prof, can we talk to you?" And I was like, all right, here we go. They already don't like me. They don't like my style. They already don't like my approach because I'm arguably doing things different. And then they come up, they're like, "Can we just say how much you made us miss the previous director?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "You literally were embodying things that he has said to us before. And you were doing things. You remind us so much of our previous director." And I was like, "You talking about Prof Brown?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Bro, that's my dude. So if you telling me that is one of the biggest compliments I can take." And I didn't stop being that person because it is. The narrative still exists. Like, do y'all warm up? Do y'all tune? And those things. And it's like, and I pull out the videos of us singing in just intonation. And then they're like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yes, we do this daily. Like, this is what we do." And it's just stop assuming things aren't done a certain way. And so that to end the episode that way, that for me was obviously I really appreciate that, man, because we're still looking at you and still amping you up and plugging you up and still talking about you to this day, and hence why you're on this podcast. A little too late, but I should have happened to go.
Better late than never, man.
But Rick, man, if folks want to get in touch with you, man, what's the best way they can reach out?
So if you're interested in just me in general, you can reach me at my UConn email. That's ricardo.t.brown@uconn.edu. That's where I work from. And then if you're interested in the Mandarins Drum Corp, something you might be interested in, you can email me at brass@mandarins.org, brass@mandarins.org. This year it's a little late, but definitely for next year and years moving forward, you want to give opportunities to anybody that wants them. So I'm also on all the social media platforms except for TikTok. I'm too old for that. But
you and me both.
But yeah, man. So yeah, that's it.
Love it, man. Justin, man, any final thoughts?
Man, this was a great episode. I'm speechless, man. Just because from afar, knowing you, hearing the stories from Eric, and just being able to, small talk. But I think what I hope people get from this, whether you are in college right now, working on getting out, whether you're in the work, man, there are opportunities that you have in your classroom, in your band program every day. And the biggest thing that I heard from this is that whatever is in front of me, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna worry about the barriers. If this barrier is in front of me, it's here for a reason. Let me figure out how to get over, around, or through it. And so I think that's important, man. This was a great episode. I appreciate it. I called him Doc when we first got on because I'm already saying it. Now he may still be working through. He may be working through them comps and things, but man, Doc, I appreciate you coming on. It's a joy. I
appreciate y'all, man. To the young people you were just talking to, don't expect everything from your professors. Go chase your own dreams. Don't let somebody give them to you. Go chase it. So, yeah, man.
That's good.
This has been another production of The Score. Connect with us on social media at PodTheScore. Send us an email, podthescore@gmail.com, or visit our website, revivalmusicproject.org. If you've enjoyed this episode, do us a huge favor. Rate and review us. This will help us reach even more listeners. Intro music by Justin McLean. The rotation and outro music by Ben Borges. And as always, let's continue to impact these lives through the vehicle of music.